Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is my review for the 6th episode of Season 2 of Batwoman, titled Do Not Resuscitate. I'm not entirely sure what the title stood for this episode, cause yeah, Ryan was dying from her kryptonite injury, but I'm pretty sure we actually want her to resuscitate. We don't want CW to pull another bury your gaze. I guess it could mean the bad guy's brain disease and not wanting it to resuscitate. I don't really know. Up until now, I've thought that the titles have all been pretty good this season and pretty clear what they mean within the episode, but I don't know about this one. The description for this episode says, as Ryan Wilder's kryptonite wound grows more severe, it hinders Batwoman's ability to protect Gotham. Alice's reunion with a fellow Coryana inhabitant presents unexpected complications, obviously referring to Ocean. So let's start off with Ryan's story. This episode we had a group of doctors from Hamilton Dynamics who were trying to recreate the desert rose because it has the power to cure all diseases. But let's be honest, it's the American healthcare system, so they ain't gonna do shit if they get it. After countless failed trials, they ended up sending a mentally unstable patient after Mary to get the secret of the desert rose. When that guy first showed up and turned around, I was expecting it to be Hush, but it turned out to just be a random guy we've never seen before. The infection in Ryan's kryptonite wound got even worse this episode, so Angelique ended up taking her to the hospital, but then they were stuck waiting for a long time. I just gotta say, I was really loving this relationship. We've barely seen them together, but they were already one of my favorite Arrowverse couples, so I'm sad that they ruined it in the end of the episode. They really had great chemistry, which was never there for last season's main couple. Angelique is really the perfect girl for Ryan. Just look at how she stood up for her so that the doctors would finally treat her. I love that they actually sent the message that they wanted to without making it feel forced, because right after Ange yelled at the doctor about black women dying because doctors don't treat them, which is true, then Ryan told her that she was being extra. So they acknowledged that people don't actually talk that way, unlike the number speech in episode 1, or Kate's "it'll be perfect when it fits a woman" line. I like that they added a strong real-life message each episode this season, and I think they've actually done a pretty good job, especially with the 4th episode, but this one was pretty good. They've done a way better job at dealing with real-life issues than Supergirl ever did, and definitely better than the #feminism on The Flash. Anyway, the doctor agreed to treat Ryan, and she lied to him that it was just a spider wound. Like, yeah, a spider would totally do that. But this ends up coming up again because later Ryan's blood test came out weird due to the radiation, and he wanted to run more tests. The main thing about Ryan's story this episode was her relationship with Angelique, because Ange was going to pay for Ryan's doctor visit with the money she made dealing drugs, and Ryan was obviously mad that Ange is back to doing that. She tried to get her a job at the holdup, which just reminds me that everyone ended up working at Verdant and Arrow, but Ange refused because she actually likes being a dealer. I like that they did this story, and it reminds me of the conflict between Kate and Sophie. Kate didn't understand that the reason that Sophie had to stay in the closet is because as a woman of color from a low-income family, the army was her only way to escape that life and make something of herself. She didn't have the money and privilege like Kate did to find other opportunities and stick it to the man. Even though Ryan is the woman of color in this case, now she's the one that doesn't understand Angie's experience because she's had the privilege of having someone that loved her, adopted her, and got her out of that life. Well, Angie, who is white, grew up in the streets just like Ryan, but she had no one who loved her, and this is the way she had to learn to live in order to survive, and she's still stuck in that life. I just thought this was a great moment between them, which really explained the point that the characters are in their lives. The problem is that then Crowfeet blackmailed Ryan with Angie's file because she wanted her to hack Angie's phone in order to find Ocean since she's working with him. And in the end, this messed up their relationship because Angie found the tracker thing in her phone and she broke up with Ryan. I really liked the scene where they broke up. I thought it had great acting from both of them, and the music fit in really well. Also, although she's a criminal and all, Angie, it was actually justified to be mad in this case, unlike Felicity with the whole kid thing on Arrow. Sophie was listening in on the whole fight, and I wonder if they did this so that she would see the similarities between their relationship and her relationship with Kate. But I just hope that they didn't do this breakup with Sophie listening in just so that they could throw Ryan with a crow. If they're gonna do Wildmoor, then Sophie better leave the crows, because I don't want a bad woman that's a bootlicker. Back to the guy that they sent after Mary. He kidnapped her and Jacob from a car crash and took them to the clinic. I loved how Mary was trying to lie to Jacob, but in the end she finally had to tell him that she's running the secret clinic. So Jacob was disappointed that all of his daughters have been lying to him, and it's actually all of the women in his life because we learned more about Catherine's past and the secret experiments that she ran, which ended up ruining this man's life. So now he wanted Mary to make more of the desert rose in order to cure him, but she can't get any more from her blood, so he started stabbing Jacob, and for some reason he was fine. He said he was well trained or something, but that just didn't make any sense to me. And then so that he would stop, Mary ended up telling the guy about Coryana. The way that all the storylines connect is the man needs to get to Coryana to cure himself. Alice and Ocean have the map to Coryana, And finally, Ryan's story collides with the main plot because Luke finally found out about the kryptonite injury after she got mad that he was working with Alice, who killed her mother, and she decided that she also needs the Desert Rose so she can cure herself and not die. I really like the moment between them when Ryan went off on Luke and he finally called her a hero, and then she ends up proving that she is a hero because even though she had just fainted, she went to save Mary. Alice and Ocean had a cool kind of fight scene, kind of love scene, where their memories kept on popping back up. I think the way they've been doing that is kind of weird, but we learned that they actually tried to steal the Desert Rose together from Coryana, which is the reason that Sapphire is mad at both of them. I thought the music fit in well in the scene, but then Crophie ruined the moment, like always. And my question here is Ocean actually Roman Sionis? Because Ocean still seems like a weird name for him, but then again Ryan ended up being Ryan's real name. But also Sophie said that Ocean is the one behind the drugs that the False Face Society is selling. And during Black Girl Magic, the episode with Victor Sass, we learned that a figure in a black mask is the leader of that gang. So I'm thinking this is how they are going to transition from the Sapphire storyline into the Black Mask storyline, since the drug is made of the Desert Rose, and it seems like everything is leading to all of our main characters going over to Coryana, where Ocean could get more of the Desert Rose to produce more of the drug and grow his whole criminal empire. I'm starting to think that it is going to happen after mid-season, which is kind of disappointing, but they've also kind of already ruined Sapphire by making her motivation that she simply wants to sleep with Alice, so that's why she's mad at Ocean. So it's better to just get it over with. Anyway, Sophie wanted the map, and I thought it was cool how Ocean revealed it to her by burning up the blood, but later Ryan gave the map to the stupid doctor in order to save Sophie. Finally, at the end, Jacob told Mary that he's shutting down the clinic, which just once again proves you how much of a jerk he is, and how he keeps on uplifting the problems with the system in the city. He's taking away the chance of getting medical help for lower income people who can't afford to go to the hospital, which was shown this episode with Ryan's storyline and Angie's. And how does Jacob think that this is turning Mary into Catherine? She's actually trying to help people while Catherine was using people as her test subjects. Also, I forgot that Mary is supposed to be a college student, so that was kind of weird when he mentioned that. Then at the end, Alice appeared to kill Ocean, which would have ruined my theory about him, but it turned out to be fake. She was just killing a fake so that she could lure Tatiana to Gotham. So like I said, this seems to be setting up that everyone is going to travel to Coryana to battle Sapphire over the Desert Rose. And this starts with luring Tatiana here. I enjoyed this episode, but it kind of felt like a mid-season finale with how all of these storylines were suddenly colliding and kind of coming to a close, but also starting new ones. And like I said, I'm pretty sure this is leading to the battle at Coryana in episode 9, and after that we'll move over into the Black Mask storyline. The best parts of this episode were definitely the moments between Ryan and Angie. I thought their storyline was really good, the message it was trying to send was good, and I thought both actresses did a good job. The weakest part for me right now is definitely Ocean. I haven't been able to really enjoy his character. It just seems like they're pretty much using him as a replacement of Sapphire's story in the comic, where Sapphire is the one that's in love with Kate. She has the whole relationship with Kate and Coryana, which is what I thought they were going to do with Alice, but instead they decided to make Alice straight and do the exact same relationship but with Ocean, who is Sapphire's made-up brother. So that's why I think it would be better to turn him into Black Mask, and hopefully if that does happen, it'll make me like his character a bit more. But as of right now, he's the weakest part of the show. I'm sad that they seem to have ruined Sapphire, but I'm glad that all the storylines finally came together this episode. Just like in season 1, this show doesn't really have filler episodes because even when we have a villain of the week, they all end up building into the main storyline in some way. So I'm glad that we finally see where that's going and how Ryan is involved with the whole finding Kate story, because she also needs the Desert Rose, but at the same time, I just want them to get the Kate story over with. Ruby Rose said that she would like to come back, but she doesn't think it's necessary for her, which is pretty stupid because the whole story has been revolving around saving her. So I'm really not sure what show she is watching or if she is even watching the show, but we'll see where that goes. I just hope that if we're done with the Coryana and Sapphire storyline by episode 9, that we'll also let go of Kate, because it's still kind of holding Ryan back from being the central focus of the show, and I'm just looking forward to seeing the rematch between Alice and Ryan next episode. And could we see Ryan do what Kate never did and kill Alice? Probably not, but let's see. So that's it for this review. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts on the video, the episode, or my theory about Ocean in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good day. Goodbye.